Good morning everyone. Today I am back with the class 8 social science class and today's subject history. So today we continue the rest of the part of the chapter from trade to territory. So today's topic is company rule expands. How East India Company after the Battle of Plassey and after the Battle of Buxar expands their territory and slowly they captured the entire India or Indian subcontinent. Today we will discuss about this matter. First we have to know that East India Company annexed Indian states between 1757 up to 1857 AD. So this is exactly 100 years. If you look carefully, that exactly 100 years. That what happened in 1757? That in 1757 the Battle of Plassey occurred, and in 1857 it is a great mutiny or Sepoy mutiny occurred. So in this 100 years, the British East India Company, they are thinkers of the company, they tried various ways and they invented different ways to capture the Indian states. They never led their army directly after the Battle of Buxar to any states, but they using different policies to annex the Indian states. So British East India Company, they were using 3 policies to capture the Indian provinces or states. These states mainly ruled by Indian princes, rulers. The first policy is Subsidiary Alliance. Number 2, it is direct annexation policy. So in this policy, they are accused some Indian states that you are not ruled the state properly. So there was a total misgovernance. So we will capture the state forcefully and establish the rule of law. Number 3, it is the doctrine of lapsing. It was introduced by Lord Dalhousie, and by these 3 policies they annexed most of the Indian states. So today we will learn about Subsidiary Alliance. So in Subsidiary Alliance, it was introduced by Richard Wellesley, the Governor General of India at the time, from 1798 to 1805 AD. And according to this alliance, there are some rules and regulations the particular state have to be followed. So they are: number 1, company appointed residents on Indian states. Residence is official. That was, those kings agreed with the British East India Company and signed this treaty, or they are come with this alliance. They had to give permission to a resident, a British official, English East India Company official that resides on the court of that king, and they will decide all the internal policies. Suppose who will be the successor of the king and which official would be appointed in which region or in which post, and they always looked after the interests of their company, English East India Company. Okay, so now the next one, that Indian rulers were not allowed to maintain their own armed forces. This is a very important feature of the Subsidiary Alliance. So they were to be protected by the company's army. So a battalion of soldiers resides in the state of that king, and they will protect the king in the time of war or any type of attack from outside enemy. But in terms, they had to pay some money and they had to look after the troops. And if they fail to make payment to the company in a certain time to maintain those forces, their territories or part of their territories was taken away as a penalty. So this is the clause written, and the kings had to sign this clause. After reading all these clause and agreed with this clause, they had to sign in the treaty. So this is Subsidiary Alliance. So as per the alliance, the company, it was very much powerful and they can control the Indian states. The first Indian state, it is the ruler of Satara. Satara is a state situated in the Maharashtra, today is Maharashtra, and at that time in the Maratha provinces. The Satara state accepted this policy, as well as the Nawab of Arcot and the Nizam of Hyderabad also accepted the subsidiary alliance. Okay, now what power did the residents have? We found this a small account written by James Mill in 1832. It is in your book, page number 16. So look at the book in page number 16, that the James Mill, the famous economist and political philosopher from the Scotland, wrote about the residents appointed by the company. He said that we place a resident who really is king of the country. Whatever injunctions of non-interference he may act under, as long as the prince acts in perfect subservience and does what is agreeable to the residents, that is, to the British government, things go on quietly and they are managed without the resident appearing much in the administration of affairs. But when anything of the different nature happens, the moment the prince takes a course which the British government think wrong, and then comes clashing and disturbance. So from this we have clearly understood that how much power the residents have. They were mentioned the real king of the country, and those who are not obeying the orders of the residents or non-interference may be act under, and as long as the prince acts the perfect subservience and does what he agreeable to the subservience means the submissiveness actually, and injunction means the instructions. So, and the British government things go on quietly, they are marched without the resident appearing much in the administration of affairs. So from this passage we have clearly understood that how much power the residents have and how did they control the Indian states with their policies. Today we start this subunit, Tipu Sultan, the Tiger of Mysore. So we start this subunit with a story that one day Tipu Sultan went into the forest with his French friend for hunting, and when they proceed into the forest slowly, but they hunted few deers, but they actually wanted to hunt a tiger, but they were not found any tiger till the afternoon. So in the time of afternoon, when they are roaming around the forest, suddenly the men of Tipu Sultan heard a roar, and then suddenly they are turning back, and Tipu Sultan suddenly saw a big tiger just crawling slowly towards their elephant, and Tipu Sultan was at that time riding on the top of the elephant, and then the elephant was very much afraid from the tiger, and the elephant was shouting, and when the elephant was shouting, then Tipu Sultan sometimes he disbalanced and fell from the back of the elephant, and the tiger was jumping towards the Tipu Sultan and attacked Tipu Sultan. Then Tipu Sultan's the rifles also blocked, because at the time they had used the old rifles, so rifles blocked, and the dagger also fell into the soil. But Tipu Sultan, not afraid, he just try to get rid of the tiger from his body, and they are fighting for a few minutes, and finally somehow Tipu Sultan managed to collect the dagger and kill and put this into the neck of the tiger. And after a devastating battle, the Tipu Sultan killed the tiger. So this is there is a story of bravery of Tipu Sultan. We don't know this story is original or not, but after this incident, the people called him the Tiger of Mysore, and Tipu Sultan also used the emblem of tiger in their state flag. So now we'll start that what was the activity of Tiger of Mysore, Tipu Sultan, and how did the state of Mysore annexed by the British East India Company. So the state of Mysore grew up under the leadership of Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan. Hyder Ali was previously an army general, and he took over the power from the former rulers of the Mysore state and established an independent kingdom. And after the death of Hyder Ali, his son Tipu Sultan sat on the throne, and that time the state of Mysore was spread their areas and emerged as the most powerful kingdom in South India. And the state controlled the spice trade in Malabar coast. You know that the area from Goa up to the Kerala in the western coast of India is known as Malabar coast, and this place is very much famous for its spice trade. Lot of spices were transported from this region to the Europe and in the other countries so many years ago, through so many years. And the name of the commodities or spices are cardamom, clove, black pepper, and etc. So while the British East India Company had a conflict with Mysore state, so there are some reasons. The first reason is that Tipu Sultan he understood that British East India Company had grown a powerful political opponent of them, and they slowly increased their power in the Indian Ocean region as well as in the Indian subcontinent. At the time, Tipu Sultan know that they won the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar and earned the rights to collect the revenue from the Bengal. So that's why Tipu Sultan stopped the export of sandalwood, pepper and cardamom through the ports of his kingdom and disallowed merchants from trading with the company. So he stopped the main commodity of the East India Company that they sold in the European market, like sandalwood and pepper and cardamom. So it was a great headache for the East India Company that their main commodities, now the trade of their main commodities had stopped by the local ruler. Number two, Tipu Sultan established a close relationship with the French East India Company and modernized his army with the help of the French, and new type of guns and use of gunpowder introduced in the army of Tipu Sultan with the help of French. Okay, now we'll see that what happened after that, the reasons for the anger of the British. The British saw the rulers of Mysore as arrogant, ambitious, and they are dangerous for their economic and political activities. Because of this, they led their military forces against them. So there are 4 battles between the British East India Company and the rulers of Mysore fought. And in this battle, the first battle is First Anglo-Mysore War. It was happened in 1767 to 1769. Next battle, it's a Second Anglo-Mysore War. It is from 1780 to 1784 AD. So these two battles actually fought by Hyder Ali for the Mysore, and on the other side the British East India Company. But after the death of Hyder Ali, the Tipu Sultan, the son of Hyder Ali, he in charge of the battle. He was also involved in the Third Anglo-Mysore War in 1790 to 92 AD. And in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, the Battle of Seringapattam, it is very famous battle. And in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore Battle, or the Battle of Seringapattam in 1799, Tipu Sultan was died in the battle, and the British East India Company owned the Mysore. After that, what happened? That Mysore was placed under the former ruling dynasty of the VIII, and a subsidiary alliance was imposed on them. So before the Hyder Ali, who ruled in the Mysore, their old ruling family, the VIIIs, they are placed in the throne, and a subsidiary alliance imposed on the state. And in this way, the state of Mysore captured by the British. Okay, so next we'll see how British East India Company annexed the state of Maratha, or all the region situated in the western side of India, today is known as Maharashtra. That's all for today's class. Hope you have understood everything. So see you in the next class.